right in the middle of a live. Unbelievable. I hope you brought enough for everyone.
Oh, I just have one left. I'm sorry.
One left. You guys can all share. Split it up amongst yourselves. How are you doing tonight?
Okay. A little hot.
Yeah. How are you guys all doing? How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, man. So we have been right in the middle of a heat wave. Now it definitely hasn't been as hot as that previous weekend, where it got up to nearly 110 degrees. But it has been over 100 degrees for over a week now, right?
Yes.
And excuse us, the air conditioner is going, so we'll try and speak up, but let us know if you're having trouble hearing us. I know this thing is a beast. Um, yeah, so you were looking at the temperatures from this June and the previous June, and the previous June was hot and dry, right?
Um, it was, but not as hot as it's been.
Yeah, so this June has been even worse than the previous one.
I
It is
think we
just,
just had like a few days that were over 100 last June.
yeah, and now it's just straight 100-degree days. It's going to be like that for a couple of weeks.
118 in Quartz. Oh.
Wow.
Oh man. Be careful. Try to stay cool there.
Yeah, do you remember
Yeah.
those? Do you remember those days getting living in kind of living in central Arizona?
Oh, yeah,
Where
Central Arizona is like you're used to that. Like summer hits and then it's like over 100 every single day, like most of the
Oh
summer.
yeah, and then it gets up to like 120.
Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer says hopefully the heat brings on the monsoons.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for. Well, I'll take that heat if we get those monsoons coming soon. So yeah, we've been busy. We have been crazy busy. So many projects going on at once.
Yes.
We've been, well, cobbing's been on hold. We got to do more cobbing. We obviously got to protect those bags. Some of those bags have been exposed way too long. Some of them are getting pretty brittle. You just kind of rub up against the bags a little bit and they start coming apart. So, but I can't do anything until I get. Right now, I'm in the middle of prepping and putting up braces for those eaves. So I got that going. But we can't do any cobbing on the outside until we can get all that in place. So, unfortunately, yeah, I'll just be busy kind of knocking that out. Cutting them, getting those in place. Um, Rainwater harvesting. Obviously, you've seen the thumbnail for this live. Um, me putting up gutters. So, working on gutters for a while. I was able to get up about half of those gutters, and then I ran out of gutter hangers. And it's always something. So I need to get more gutter hangers. I can't put up any more gutter hangers. I can't put up any more gutters until I get more gutter hangers. I thought I had more, but I can't find any. What can you do? But the amazing thing is I was able to get more PVC pipe. And that was a difficult thing to get because almost no one has it, or it's too expensive, or anything else,
Well, those are
or it's far
the
away.
big.
I had to go
You had
with
to
one
make.
that was like really far away.
Yeah, you had to make a little
I had to make a
trip.
trip. to Nogales. But I was able to get more of that 4-inch PVC. Man, it's a specific kind I need anyway. So now that I got the piping, I just need to get those gutter hangers, and I can set up in our all new rainwater harvesting system. What do we call it? Rainwater harvesting 3.0?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
I don't know. We went through so many iterations. I lost track.
Hello, Jessica from France. French Jessica.
Oh, French Jessica. And not only that, but like, so now we're dealing with this heat and, you know, trying to keep crew cool. But today, our refrigerator, well, we found out our refrigerator went out. And our food's been getting like crazy warm for like the past couple of days. We just found out when we're making food and then all of our food smelled funky.
Oh, this is
It's like
not
all
good.
rotting. It's like, oh man. You don't want to find out your refrigerator's going out until when all your food smells all funky and nasty. But so we got one of those RV fridges, and they run on both electricity and propane. And we've been running it on propane for a while, just to kind of ease the burden of the solar equipment. And so we can run the air conditioning later. Because how long have we been running this air conditioner?
Probably close to 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. It kind of goes until about 8 p.m., maybe a little bit later. Until it gets so close to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And you kind of do that more mainly for cruise purpose. We normally wouldn't run it that long. But if we have to run the refrigerator on electricity, that could be an issue.
Thanks, Reading Matt.
Thank you.
Guys, rock.
You rock.
You rock too.
So that's not what we're dealing with. So we're gonna have to run the fridge on electricity, and you know those things are so crazy inefficient with electricity. And we're gonna have to make some judgments on whether we're gonna run the AC longer, or cut it off earlier, or maybe pull out the generator and run that for a little bit. I don't know. Do you know? She's actually gonna make the call on it.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
You're like the moderator for the temperature inside here.
Is it cool enough inside for you to sleep?
I don't have any problems with it. It's a little bit warm at night.
I have trouble getting to sleep at night because it is kind of hot, like earlier in the evening.
Especially when we go to bed. It's still probably like high 80s.
And we've been kind of closing off the door by the bedroom during the day just so that we can keep this living room area like cooler. So it gets like hot over there. And it takes a while to cool off. But by morning it's cool, I guess.
We try and take care of crew as best we can. Make sure he's not... it's rough. It's got to be rough on him.
And Leo said that it was 119 in Tucson.
Dang, I'm glad I don't have to go to Tucson.
Yeah, so crew is, he's managing, with the air in here. He did, get a little bit sick earlier. I think he got a little too warm or something.
So, yeah, people have been, and I know people put this in the videos, ask questions in the video as well. Moons brings up a good point. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, why don't you shave them?" We got this question before, especially last summer. Crew is a double-coated, Akitas are double-coated dogs. So that fur really helps to not only keep them warm, but it actually helps keep them cool.
Yeah, it's like insulation, so it helps them thermal regulate.
And their skin is real sensitive, so being exposed to the sun or something like that, it would not be good.
Yeah, plus I guess the undercoat doesn't grow back correctly, if you shave them, sometimes like it'll grow back in patches or something, and it might not ever like
Go back, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my brother said anyway. Like, so probably don't want to do that.
Can you give crew a bath to cool them off? We could probably wet them down. Would you think you'd get in a tub?
Maybe.
Maybe it depends. I don't know. Sometimes he likes getting his paws wet. I know we took him up to, what was that, Turkey Creek, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And he usually doesn't like the hose or dumping water on him from above. But he actually, when we got to that creek, he didn't mind like kind of getting in there, getting his paws wet
It
and stuff like
wasn't
that.
very deep, you know, so he was just kind of running around in there, and he's having fun, I think.
Yeah,
But he can't swim. So.
just splash him. Yeah, kiddie pool.
Yeah. It might be a little messy out here. It might
Dry
get
him
kinda
off.
muddy.
Dry him off. It has to be by the gravel or
Yeah.
by the mulch or something. Lisa says, hello from Prescott. Dogs love water if it's their idea. Any news on a truck? I was actually thinking about, there was actually a truck up in, where was it? Safford. But I think we might wait. I think we might hold up on a truck right now. I mean, we don't need a truck all the time. You know, it's not like we're in need of a truck every day. So we might hold off on that now and maybe just invest the money in a better truck later on than getting like a used truck. That'll probably, even like a decent used truck where it might like start having problems a month or two after you buy it.
Yeah. I mean,
and then you're sinking a whole bunch of money into it.
Right. For the amount that we can spend right now, we probably would end up getting something that has some kind of problem, you know.
Yeah, people are, like, if people are getting rid of a truck for a couple $1,000s, it's probably not
There's probably something.
the great, yeah.
Yeah, but we're just, I think right now we're thinking we're going to save some money, hopefully get something later. What's going on? I think some people mentioned like using reflective materials for cooling things down.
People have brought that up, and that's kind of interesting. We do have, there is like this covering over each of the windows, which kind of blocks a little bit. It's kind of like a shade cloth almost.
Yeah, that does help.
That helps.
But,
the reflective material is a good idea. Maybe something a little bit more insulative. But then it would get dark in here.
Or,
would you be okay with that?
Or what about for the shed?
Yeah, it's an idea. I wish we would get rain here in California. Wish we would get some rain too. So hopefully the Southwest will get a little bit of rain soon.
Yeah, it's in bad need of some rain.
The whole western United States probably. Yeah, man, these triple-digit heats have just been hammering us every day. Triple digits.
How
I think
cold
someone
is
said
your
like...
trailer?
What?
What? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Someone asked, how cold is the trailer staying?
You know, during the heat of the day, it gets into the low 90s, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems like the little portable AC we got maybe keeps it like 10 degrees cooler than outside.
And a little bit cooler right next to, like, if we were to sit like right here,
right
where
here.
we're doing, that's a little bit better than that.
Then on the other side.
I'm actually surprised you don't, because she's been doing a lot of computer work. Oh man, how long have you been doing computer work now? You've been on that computer a lot, yeah. This lady's been non-stop. Pat, 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 pat. But I'm surprised you haven't moved that over here and started working like right next to the AC.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. I've been working on a new video for the channel members.
Channel members,
It's
expect a
really
new video sometime in the near future, but no guarantees on when that will be.
Right. But we give like a tour of the property.
It should be really cool. A lot of people have been asking for a tour of the property. We did something pretty cool, giving a tour, showing everyone what we did. That'll be in the members section. Is it getting dark? It might be a little bit darker just because we have like the door closed and everything. But it's the back window here closed. But yeah, it's still pretty bright and sunny out.
Oh,
In
hey,
fact,
Twisted Art Lady.
new member.
Hey.
Welcome to the crew pack.
Awesome.
Thank you. Dr. Gunsmith. Hello. Yeah, but the summer solstice coming up this weekend, right?
Oh, is that this weekend?
Yeah. Longest day of the year is coming up, y'all. That means I gotta take advantage of as much daylight as I can to get things done. And then after that, every day gets shorter after that, so then a little less time. Hope everyone's taking advantage of all that sunshine and the long days. Get them while you can. But right now, actually, I'm taking advantage of the evenings and the early mornings. In fact, last night I was working out till 10 p.m., wasn't I?
Yeah.
Like, you were already in bed. I was still out there hammering things out, but I need to get things done, and I need to get these projects moved along.
And then you were up early.
4 a.m. So I was in bed at 10, up at 4 a.m. But that's just how it's got to be. But I'm getting close. I think, how many braces do I have up now? I got over 10 braces up. So I still got quite a bit left to do, but I think I can get it done by tomorrow, hopefully. Jimmy the Midtown Farmer, hello.
Jennifer was asking, says vehicle prices are high, so are land prices. Any thoughts regarding buying land now or waiting?
That's a good question. What do you think? You know, it couldn't hurt to just keep your eyes open and see what's available, you know? Leave yourself open to that. But it could be that people were buying up a lot of land after the pandemic and getting out of the cities and stuff like that. It might have opened up some opportunities for some. So it might be advantageous to wait.
Oh, Anthony, welcome to the crew pack.
Welcome to the crew pack. Thank you. What are your thoughts?
Well, that's possible. There's always a risk that it just keeps going up, but I guess there's a tendency like to have like an upswing and then downswing. So
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. But good news is, you know, I mean, some of these prices like gas and wood have just been going up, just been skyrocketing. But lumber prices are falling. I'm excited about that.
are they actually?
Well, lumber futures, I think.
Lumber futures.
So
Will they fall in the future?
they are falling in the future. So it's possible we might see like a 47% decrease in lumber prices maybe as early as July. So if you're looking to start that project, maybe just wait a little bit. If you're looking at getting some wood, maybe just wait like about a month or so if you can, and then scoop up your wood then.
Yeah.
Jeff Green, thank you so
thank
much for the
you,
super
Jeff.
chat. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate all the people taking that time, watching our videos. and it just helps us out tremendously.
Like Mike's dirt is still dirt cheap.
Dirt is still dirt cheap. If you can, don't build with wood at all. And then build with dirt. In fact, our dome is going to be a lot more expensive than maybe just your ordinary Earthbag dome.
Yeah, because we chose to.
We're doing some
add
different things,
extra
adding some extra things, just because we want to make it as efficient as possible. So we're getting fancy with our dome, adding a little bit extra cost, but you could probably build a dome for maybe a few $100s.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about like the roofing materials. Roof can add a lot of cost to a house build.
Oh yeah. Most expensive thing about a house is the foundation and the roof.
Hey, thanks.
Stover family, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah. I'm excited about lumber prices coming down now. So I had to buy a little bit of lumber. I had to buy a little bit of lumber for some of the stuff we're doing now, like the braces. Plus, I had to work out a new system for the cob since we're getting up so high. And I think I have an idea for some kind of temporary scaffolding on the outside. Hoping it works. But Jess is going to try it out. She's going to be the one using it, so...
I'm going to be the guinea pig?
You're going to be the guinea pig. Better you than me. She's lighter, so it's safer. If something happens with the scaffolding, she can just float down to the ground gracefully.
How's it going concerning your build permits? We got the extension.
Did we?
Did you ever check?
I never checked.
You better do that. I think we filed an extension and paid for it, so I think we're all set on all permits.
Yeah, I recently heard, for anyone interested in like the opt-out or whatnot, so I think there was a meeting recently, and it sounds not only are they keeping the opt-out for a while, but they've actually made it a little bit more permissive.
Really?
I think they've actually, now, don't quote me on it, don't go up to the county and be like, hey, I heard this from Jim, so it's locked tight, but I think they've taken away the time limit. Like, it doesn't have to be done in 3 years or so. You can keep working on it but you got to show them you're making progress. You got to send them photos like every 6 months or something like that. You probably got to give them more money over time. I don't know. But it sounds like they've taken that away. As long as you're making progress, you can keep building on it. And you can live in your RV for longer while you're building.
Hey, Tony.
Tony, what's up?
What? Someone...
So if anyone's interested, then check that out. It sounds like they've actually made it a little bit more permissive. Or at least they're talking about it. Where's our dog at and how hot is it there? Our dog is right underneath the camera. He's sleeping. As usual, he's just been knocked out.
And it only got up to 100 today, I think.
Yeah, like 101, 102, something like that. It's temperatures are already starting to come down.
Jimmy suggested straw bales around the shed, like you mentioned doing with the dome. Wouldn't that help keep it a lot cooler?
We might end up making quite a bit of changes on the shed.
Yeah, we're gonna do some remodeling, so we might be doing something like that.
Yeah, I have to, I can't do too much. I can't, like, knock the shed down and totally rebuild it. But I think there's things I could do to make it better. Maybe put a larger roof on there. Add some straw bales. I think that's definitely something I was thinking about. Would you like some straw bales along there?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the big things that like we made some plans, and all those plans ended up changing. It's the wrong, absolute wrong orientation as well. You know, it's faced like a north-south orientation, where technically we'd want it to have like an east-west orientation and kept it cooler. But you know, we were gonna use those buildings as kind of like part of a wall and put a garden back here. But those ended up changing.
Yep. Yeah, but I think the orientation can make a big difference.
Could be as much as like 10 degrees cooler. Just from orientation. Man, I'm really excited to get back into the rainwater harvesting. I can't wait to get those gutters up. I can't wait to get that piping up. I got so many ideas. But you know, I'm keeping it simple. It's a little bit more simple. I got some pretty good ideas, and I've run my ideas over through the boss. You've approved all of my ideas, right? You've given me your stamp of approval. It makes sense.
Well, tentatively.
Tentatively. Subject to change?
I said I was going to think about it.
Oh. Are you still thinking?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take too long to set everything up once I get those gutter hangers. And then, well, you know, another big thing I want to do on this, so I'm going to have, you know, the gutters, I got the 4-inch PVC, but I'll be making my own hangers out of wood to hold the pipe. So, we'll have specialized wood hangers to kind of hold the PVC pipe in place. And I think it'll be good. I think at first I was thinking of possibly doing another wet system, but I'm thinking of just going with a dry system and just emptying it out on the roof of the cistern. And I'll also be piping it into the poly tanks as well. Because, you know, I was just thinking we'd have this house built in no time. I could just start piping everything into the cistern, but here we are, we're still using the water from the poly tanks. So I want some of that rainwater to go into the poly tanks. And then any overflow will go into the cistern. Yeah, exactly. Says, I'm so smart. Pass the buck to the boss. That's exactly right. You know, if I was smarter from the beginning, I would have gotten approval from her for everything.
But then it's on me.
Exactly.
If something goes wrong.
Like, well, the boss cleared it.
Dino says, I still don't understand how the bags will remain above in place. Please explain.
Wait. How'd that question go?
So the bags for the dome, how do they remain in place? And this is something, I think we should still do a video on that, kind of explaining a little more in detail.
Yeah, we can do a video on that.
It's called a corbelled dome. So the bags get stacked and they kind of they go inwards as you go up, and it kind of acts along the same lines of like an arch, the way an arch stays up. So a dome would be like an arch in 360 degrees, basically.
360-degree arch. Do you pre-filter your rain before it goes into the cisterns? Sort of. So, like, pre-filter, you know, every pipe or whatnot that goes into the poly tanks or the cistern should be covered with a screen. So, with our new rainwater harvesting setup, I'll have screens over the pipes, and we'll have screens before going into the cistern. And then 90-degree bends so no light gets in there. Those are good filters to have beforehand. Don't have anything like regular filters before it goes into any of these places. And then we use a Berkey filter before we use it to drink or anything like that. Oh, and we've started using an inline hose filter before it goes into the RV. So if we pump water into the RV, it goes to that inline filter, and then if we use it for drinking, it goes to the Berkey as well.
Yeah, so it ends up being like super clean.
Super clean.
You have to have a minimum amount of land before you can opt out, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
4 acres.
and it
But
needs a certain zoning.
yeah. But I think you might be able to, if it's not zoned for the opt-out, I think you can have it changed. But I wouldn't count
Yeah.
it.
Please explain your recipe of the bag's content. Dirt, sand, water, percentage, line. So we're just using the native soil here, our subsoil, which is about 30% clay, 70% sand. And that's it, and some water.
Yeah, and so we happen to have, we kind of lucked out, really great soil for this type of building. Sometimes you might find yourself a little too sand heavy. Sometimes you might find yourself a little clay heavy. And then you might want to think about adding some stabilizer. That's a possibility. But definitely work with the soil a little bit. Maybe do some small builds and see how comfortable you feel with it. Is 30% ideal for clay? It's pretty good. I think 25% would be perfect. But 30 is pretty good. Remember to talk about your membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have memberships available. Definitely not required, but it's always appreciated. And get you that cool little symbol by your name.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're interested in joining, there's a little, I think there's like a join button on our homepage of our YouTube channel, like the...
Yep, just right by our name. Someone asks, Anthony asks, how do you test your soil percentages? It's called the jar test. Pretty easy. Take like a mason jar or something like that, or any kind of jar. Fill it half up with some of the soil, subsoil. You don't want to have any. Try not to have any of your organic matter in there. Fill the other half up with water. Shake it up real good. Sometimes you can add a little soap to help with make things transition a little smoother. And then check out the percentages. You'll get your sand on the bottom, your clay will be on top. And sometimes it takes a little while for all that clay to settle. So like you gotta wait for that water on top to kind of clear out. So it's not so cloudy. And we have a video on that. You can definitely check that out.
John asks, is the cob holding up well on the shed? The chicken wire. Yeah, surprisingly, because we never actually finished it.
Just completely exposed
It's
fiber
just-
adobe.
Yeah, it's just mud and paper.
But it's holding up.
For how long? A year? 2 years?
A couple of years.
It's crazy. Like,
It's some spots have worn down a bit, but it's holding up really well.
yeah. How far from your place to the nearest town?
We got a small town about 15 minutes away. A larger town, small city, about a half hour away. And then a bigger city, not a huge city, but has like pretty much everything you would need. Kind of another slightly larger city. That's about an hour away.
Hey, Vicky! Welcome to the Green Dream Team!
Welcome to the Green Team. I can't even say it.
You're gonna
Thank you,
get to
Vicky.
see the video when it comes out.
Nice. You get all that bonus stuff. Oh yeah, so George brings up about swamp cooler, and a lot of people were talking about swamp coolers.
We had one for a
Commenting on
while.
swamp coolers. We did try a swamp cooler in here, and I feel it worked okay. It didn't work quite as well as the AC as far as getting cool air, but the problem is it sucked up so much water.
Yeah.
I'd probably say at least 5 gallons a day, wouldn't you say? And when you're on a limited water budget, that was not cool.
Yeah.
I'd rather use the free electricity we're producing than all the water. Journey with the Dragon Clan. Welcome to the Green Dream
Thanks.
Team. You guys. Oh, Anthony upgraded a membership to the Green Dream Team. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
So people are gonna get to see that tour coming up. Appreciate all the support, y'all. That's amazing.
Ooh. Would they let a person live in an accessory dwelling unit, such as a shed like Don's, while taking time to build an Earthbag home? I'm not sure how that works. I know they allow like permits for RVs. That's what we got. We got like a temporary RV permit.
Yeah. I don't know. I would honestly, I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, feel free to contact the county with any questions you might have. That's going to be one of your best sources for getting information, and they are super helpful. Every time I needed help from the county, they're friendly, and they want to help people out. Wayne is confused. Are you putting stucco or anything to protect the cob? We might down the road. Our thing is we'll probably put a nice thick layer of cob down there. We'll probably go over that with another layer to smooth things out. I don't know if we'll be adding lime to that yet, but we might do a lime coating over that. But we might try some other things, including possibly using vines to kind of keep the water off of that.
Yeah.
And see how that works. And there'll be straw bales on top of that as well. So there'll be a pretty thick layer before it even gets to the bags. Those walls, especially near the top, are there's going to be like close to 4 feet thick. That's crazy. And then I think with the eaves and the straw bales, I think it'll be a nice protection for the under portion of the lower portion of the dome. Oh,
Hey,
Danny
Danny.
Allen, thank you so much for the super chat. Critical hit. That's right. I take that back. It might not be quite 4 feet thick. Like if it were down near the bottom, it might be closer to 4 feet thick. But those bags are getting a little thinner near the top.
Not that much thinner.
Not that much thinner. A little bit thinner. Different. So they will look like mushrooms. They will kind of.
Yes.
They might look like we might have the Mushroom Kingdom over here. Yeah, because originally, what did we think they were gonna look like?
Certain part of the female anatomy.
So now it might
It'll
look
be
a little more
mushrooms.
like mushrooms.
And especially you're putting those braces on the eaves too. It'll look like little, what are those spore things?
Yeah. It'll have an interesting look to it. It might be one of the more interesting houses that you'll see.
Poo.
Oh man.
Hopefully it doesn't look too much like poo.
I think that's what we're gonna name. I think that's what we're gonna name our property. We, where our channel is Green Dream Project, but maybe we'll name our 40 acres out here the Mushroom Kingdom.
Mushroom.
If anyone's a Super Mario fan. That's hilarious.
If the shed is held up for so long, why did you switch to the bags?
Well, the shed was kind of an experimental thing, and I kind of built it a little bit more conventional with the stick frame because I was going to be housing like the solar equipment and stuff like that.
I think a big part of why we wanted to do the bags was because we could do a corbelled dome, and if we did it the way we did with the shed, we wouldn't be able to make a dome.
Yeah, we really had our heart set on an Earthbag dome for like the longest time. Years and years. And not that we didn't think about other methods, we definitely thought about rammed earth, we definitely thought about straw bale, and a lot of the other building methods require, a pretty decent foundation and a pretty big roof. And all those would add, a lot of extra cost to the build. So we thought, go with a full-on Earthbag dome. Keep up with the thermal mass of those earth bags, and the straw bales was something we thought about a little later on down the road, right?
Yep.
That might be a more recent thinking, and we were probably thinking about that for like the past maybe 2-3 years. But I think with the earth bags and then the straw bales outside, you really get the best of both worlds. Building with straw bale is so efficient. You definitely get a lot more insulation with the straw bales.
Hey, Erica.
Erica, thank you so much. Welcome to the Green Dream team. Definitely get so much more insulation with the straw bales, but the problem with straw bales is, making sure they're dry. They become part of the wall, so if something happens with it, it's a lot more headache to try and replace anything like that. But since it will not be an integral part of our wall, we can just tear those bales out, put in a new one. No big deal. Not as big of a deal anyway.
JS, how many months out of the year do you guys get bothered by bugs?
About the whole summer. You want to talk about the moth problem?
Yeah, that's weird. Like, just lately, there's been a lot of moths. Like, a ton of them.
So, we'll get moths just about every summer. But this particular summer seems to be really bad with the moths.
Yeah.
And we have a ton of them in here every night.
I think they're starting to die out now.
Yeah. Finding dead moths everywhere, we pick them up, throw them into the compost.
Yeah. And then...
and then I'd be walking outside under the awning, and just moths rise up out of the mulch. It's crazy.
And there's always flies.
Flies every summer. And the flies will last up until the first frost?
Probably.
Or close to it. So flies are going to be something we're dealing with for months.
But we do notice these weird cycles of different insects, different years. Like that one year we had those huge grasshoppers. They were everywhere. And then after that, we didn't see too many of those. And then I think it was last year we had a bunch of these flying ants.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Are you guys gonna dig a root cellar? Oh, I think we saw that. Yeah. So technically, we do have a root cellar.
We have a root cellar ready to go. We just need to put a dome on top of it. Actually, I'll probably be cutting into the root cellar covering before before we start on that second dome. I got to get the piping in place
Oh, yeah.
before we start the next dome, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get that piping through there. So I got to get all the kitchen piping in and the bathroom piping in before we start that next dome. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he's done. I was going to do a crew cam, but
Oh, you can still do a crew cam.
should I do a crew cam?
He'll just be sleeping.
It's like that WB thrower. You know, he starts singing and dancing, and then you turn the camera on him, and then it's like, then he goes back to sleep. Crew, what you doing over there? Sleeping? You sleeping on the job? He's got to conserve his energy. Try and take him on longer walks. Usually in the morning's cooler than in the evening, but sometimes he likes going for those nighttime walks too. Excuse me. But how long was I walking for this morning?
Oh, I don't know. Like
Oh, you were
close to an
sleeping
hour
probably,
or
but probably
something?
close to an hour. We're walking for a while.
Would bats? Yeah, probably.
I want to put up some
We should put up, bat
bad houses. She knows what I'm gonna say. We gotta put up the bad houses, y'all. How did you guys design your house? Well, we've been thinking about it for years. So,
I started designing it probably how many years ago?
yeah. And how many changes has it gone through?
A lot. Because I started designing it before I had a good understanding of earth bags and what we could do with them. So as I learned, I changed the design, and then we, went through a lot of changes. And we looked at different designs, and then we kind of,
I got ideas from everywhere.
yeah.
You know, I mean, just about in every video, people ask us, like, have you seen My Little Homestead? I mean, yeah. I don't think you can work with earth bags on YouTube without giving props to them. They're one of the originators. They've been doing it for the longest time. So they've been a huge inspiration. And we've definitely got ideas from them. I just wish I could build as well as them. But also, we've gotten inspiration ideas from some of the books we've read. And all those ideas kind of come together. I think we've just about used just about every idea we've come across, eh? We're throwing it all into the mix.
Maybe.
So I see someone asking about composting toilets. We actually, technically what we use is not a composting toilet. It's just a bucket system. So we will not be technically using a compost system. What we'll be using is like the humanure system, which composts outside. So it's just a bucket. You go into the bucket, and then you empty it out into a humanure compost pile, and that's kind of what we'll be using. Technically, it's not a compost toilet. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't compost.
Yeah.
It doesn't compost in the bucket,
Yeah, but it gets composted.
but it doesn't get compost. And we'll be using that same system with the house, just buckets. I know a lot of people tend to put in septics and stuff like that, but it's a lot of extra money. We don't plan on ever selling the place. If you're ever thinking about selling, a septic is a good idea. But for us, I don't think it was worth it. The humanure composting system, way more efficient and better for the environment.
It's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. You do have to carry out your business, though.
Yeah.
And then and then if the thing is, you can't be lazy. You can't be lazy with that, because we get lazy from time to time, and then you should probably take it out right away when it gets to a certain level.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're just like, oh, I gotta use the facilities. I better take this bucket out because there's no room.
Right, you don't want to wait till you need it. Yeah, and,
that happens way too often. There's just way too much detail for
how
you.
long it takes. It does take a long time to compost. So, from the time you start a pile to the time that you can actually use the compost is 2 years.
Yeah. So it's 1 year of building the pile, and you keep adding to it, and then you stop after a year and you let it sit for 1 year. And then it should be good to use, or you can use it right away, or you can kind of move it out of there. You can let it sit for as long as you want, but it should be good to go at that point. Built on the Rock Homestead brings up another good point. Septic systems use a lot of water, and being on a water budget, it's something we want to avoid. Yeah, we could probably keep adding to our rainwater harvesting system and get to a point where we don't mind flushing the toilet, but for our money, this is the best way to go.
Can you not let your dog run loose? No, we can't. Unfortunately.
That is another that's a question we still get asked quite a bit, and for most dogs, we probably could. But the problem is, I mean, there's so many things out here that could kill them. You got or hurt them really bad. I mean, you got your scorpions, your rattlesnakes, which I found another rattlesnake just the other day. So probably not the best idea to have dogs running loose. But with Crew and Akitas, they have virtually no recall. So if he sees something he wants to go after it, he will just is gone. No recall. So he could get into trouble. And, there are a lot of people out here with firearms. And if they see a dog running loose on the property, it's possible they might take a shot at him. We've actually had a neighbor threaten to do that at one point. So we try to keep them under control as much as possible. And coyotes, he could probably take on a coyote or two, but if they're hunting in packs, they could kill him or injure him or something. In fact, just this morning, he literally ran out to the road. I still had him, by the leash, but he was running, and sure enough, there were coyotes across the way.
You smell them?
You smell them way before I even could see them.
Super chat from Reading Matt. Thank you. I just realized the RV is not undercover. I thought that was standard practice. You mean like a roof over it, kind of?
Yeah, it would be a good idea. Yeah. But I wasn't really confident in my building abilities at that time. And I wasn't sure about the engineering to put something over it quite at that time. I'd probably be a little bit more comfortable now rather than before. Yeah. But, trying to keep costs down a little bit, trying to make something a little quicker.
And I think part of it was, there were some other people living out here. We didn't want to, make it too complicated moving RVs in and out. In case we did need to, and ended up, my aunt had her RV out here, and she ended up moving, so she had to move the RV.
Yeah, a lot of the roof design, it's kind of an odd-shaped roof. It's probably a lot longer than it should be. It's 20 feet wide, 110 feet long, and it kind of actually makes it a little bit more difficult for rainwater harvesting than if it was a little bit more of a square roof. So I probably kind of meshed that design for the time, and I probably should have maybe made something more efficient. But I wanted something, an area out in front of the trailers where people could congregate, and it could be kind of like a communal space for people to get together and spend some time out there. And then it never ended up coming together like that, but that's all right.
How much does Crew weigh?
Last time we had him weighed, it was about 230 pounds, right? Wait, no.
Not that much.
130.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking 230. Man, he'd be a massive dog.
Close to 135. I don't know. He was a little overweight.
He's a little overweight.
We put him on a diet, so he might have lost a little weight, but he's probably...
I always say 230 for some reason. 130 pounds about. But he's a big boy. He's a big boy, very protective, very loyal. But you know, her brother Peter, you know, picked him up from a rescue, and that dog chose him. And you know, that time in the rescue, you know, Crew I think fell in love with uh, with Peter, and you should see the excitement that Crew has whenever Peter shows up. It is like what, like finding his true love again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that dog is never happier until he sees Peter, and then it's a whole another level. He's happy when, like, if I leave and I come back, he's happy to see me, but nowhere near as much as Peter. That's gonna be his one true love, I think, until the day he goes.
Hey, Ren, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Do other Cochise County homesteaders have a secret handshake?
No, but that is a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. We'll have to set up a meeting and then work out a handshake. And then when the new people come in, they'll have to learn the handshake. Like, oh, you're not a Cochise homesteader until you learn the handshake.
How is your skin always glowing? It's probably sweat.
You're not supposed to say that. Glistening.
Yes.
You're glistening in the sun. What's a good breed of dog to have in the desert? Oh, that's a good question. Probably not an Akita.
No?
I don't know. He's pretty good for the most, like, for where we live. The summer's a little rough, but it's not too bad. But what do you think would be a good
We can manage.
desert dog?
I don't know enough about different dogs. Isn't there an African dog breed that might be good?
I wish we had a good answer for that. Maybe we'll have to do some research.
A dingo.
Right? Blue Heeler. Oh, we got some suggestions. Bull
Okay.
Terrier, Pit Bull, Doberman, Blue Heeler. There might be some good ones. I think a Pit Bull would be good. Like really tiny, short hair. What do you think?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Chihuahua might be a good guard dog, right? Man. Yeah, so, man, I've been working, like, how many projects have I been doing at the same time? I don't know, just been bouncing between projects.
There's a lot going
We've
on.
both been crazy busy, so much going on. But, so check it, like, the next video, we'll deal with, what do we do with the next, what's going on with the next video? The braces for the eaves. Do you know what we'll be covering in there? I know there's been, we might have caught the culprit for the chicken. For the death of Greyhead. We might have caught the culprit. So you might find that out in the next video. That was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
came face to face.
Yeah. So definitely be looking at Saturday's video. I think we should have that out Saturday. What do you think our outlook's on having that video out Saturday?
Uh,
I know the last
hard
one
to
got
say.
delayed by a day, but that one was there was a lot going on there,
yeah.
and it took a little while to put that together. But it should be out Saturday, I think. We got any last questions? You got any questions on there, all locked and loaded? Time's running out. Time's running out. Do you see any crazy military stuff being near McNeil Air Force Base? Just every now and then I think we'll see
We see military
some
helicopters.
military helicopters and stuff like that. That's about it. Well, alright. Thursday night, I love them. Love getting to talk to you guys. thanks so much to everyone for showing up, giving a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching our videos. Thank you so much to our moderators, keeping this live running so smoothly. You guys are awesome. Always do a great job. Keep those questions coming. If you watch those videos and you have questions, throw those in the comments section, and we'll probably try and answer them during the live. Sometimes we don't get to respond to a whole lot of the comments. I'll try and respond to some of the questions in there, but we'll try and answer them here during the lives as well. So definitely we'll catch you guys on Saturday.
And thank you to all the new members.
Thank you to all the new members. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us. Really helps us keep doing what we're doing out here. And we owe it all to you guys. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.